Mario Kart, created by Nintendo, is one of the most recognizable video game series in history. Nearly everyone has experienced the chaos of it, screaming at your friends as they pass you in a race you swear you would have won if it wasn't for that one item. But not many people know the entire history of the series and its development. Not to worry though, let me explain. November 21, 1990, the Super Famicom, or SNES in North America, was released, featuring the launch title F-Zero, a futuristic racing game. Now when this thing hit the market, it exploded in popularity, so clearly, Nintendo had to create a follow-up. There was one problem though: F-Zero was popular for its insane high-speed action, but lacked any sort of multiplayer content. However, the SNES was not capable of handling these extreme speeds with more than one player, so the cars had to be slowed down immensely, to a go-kart level. Instead of scrapping the idea, however, the team decided to create a go-kart game instead and began researching how they worked, even going as far as visiting go-kart centers themselves for analysis purposes. Shigeru Miyamoto wanted the game to feature a generic man in overalls and used Mario as a reference for the characters until the team said screw it and the game became centered around Mario characters. In 1992, Super Mario Kart was finally released for the SNES, and the pinnacle of gaming was achieved. Okay, so the series has clearly evolved from this, so let's break it down. The game only supported up to 2 players, and was actually a 2.5 game, appearing 3D but actually only having 2D characters driving over a 2D map. How dare they trick me? But for the first entry, they did a lot right, featuring many of the core aspects still used today. The character selection is iconic, featuring characters such as Mario, Luigi, Bowser, and Donkey Kong Jr. That's right, this is the only game to feature Donkey Kong Jr. instead of Donkey Kong. For the time it made sense, as the modern Donkey Kong had not been created, but still, it's an odd choice. Well, besides the characters, Super Mario Kart also has some iconic maps, such as Mario Circuit, Bowser's Castle, and the infamous Rainbow Road, as well as the staple additional modes Time Trial, where you just try to complete the race as fast as possible without other racers, and Battle Mode, where you kill your opponent by popping their balloons with items. The game may not hold up as well today, with its strange control layout and the fact that the computers literally cheat. I mean, they have special items that only they can use whenever they like, and the player just has to deal with it. For a first entry, however, Super Mario Kart succeeds in what it wanted to do.
4 years later the Nintendo 64 was released, and a month later Mario Kart 64 was released to the console. Still regarded as one of the best Mario Karts to this day, Mario Kart 64 changed a lot from the previous entry to what is now known as modern Mario Kart elements. The player count was up from 2 players to 4, thank God. The character roster was updated to include Wario instead of Koopa and Donkey Kong instead of Donkey Kong Jr. Originally Kamek was going to be included instead of DK, but for some reason he was just scrapped in the middle of development. It's okay though because he got added to the series never. The item list was also updated. It got rid of coins and the feather, which only made your kart slightly faster and allowed you to jump once, so nobody cared. But the new items it brought were more iconic to the series, such as triple mushrooms, the golden mushroom, fake item blocks, triple green and red shells, banana bunches, and oh god. The controls are still a bit too tight and the maps are all hit or miss. I mean seriously, Rainbow Road lasts 5 minutes on 150cc, what the heck. But that's what makes the game ridiculously fun in multiplayer. Single player wise the game has aged poorly, but in multiplayer it's still a good time. Now there's been one problem with the Mario Kart series so far: you can't play it while driving. But that's where the Game Boy Advance came in to save the day. That's right, in 2001 the first ever portable Mario Kart came out, titled Mario Kart Super Circuit. I mean, there were rumors of a Mario Kart supposed to be released on the Virtual Boy, but we don't talk about that console. Developed by Intelligent Systems instead of Nintendo themselves this time, the game went back to Super Mario Kart's 2.5D gameplay for data storage reasons. But used Mario Kart 64's character roster and item list. Don't worry, I already called the plagiarism police. Besides the pixel art style, however, there's one thing that separates this game from the previous 2. Instead of 16 or 20 tracks, this game has 40 tracks. What the not only did they create 20 new tracks, but they brought back all 20 tracks from Super Mario Kart, making this the first entry to have retro tracks. To be fair though, many of the track themes were repeated, like there are 7 Bowser's castles. I guess everyone really liked that map. Really, this game is just average all around. I mean, Mario Kart is famous for its multiplayer, but unlike other entries, this game requires everyone to own the console, a copy of the game, and link cables to play the full game in multiplayer, so it's not really worth the hassle. But for being the first portable entry, Mario Kart Super Circuit deserves at least a bit of recognition. Now in 2003, Mario Kart Double Dash was released to the GameCube, and it was the most insane entry yet. Why? The L on Luigi's hat was printed backward. Society is no more. So by just looking at the gameplay, you can tell the development team tried some new things this time. First off, there are now 2 players per cart. You can't just lone wolf it this time. Besides that, the gameplay is split up this time. The player in the front drives, the other uses the items, and it's a mode. On one hand, with the mechanics being split up, it means that players are only experiencing about half of Mario Kart. There are points where the gunner just has to sit and watch the other member drive while they wait for a chance to use an item. But this is where swapping comes in. Double Dash was the first game that lets you hold 2 items at once, and not like where you hold a banana or something behind you as defense while you grab another item. No, in this game you can grab an item, swap roles so the person with the free hand is now behind, and have them grab another item. This way, you can essentially hold onto an item for however long you can keep it in the driver's hands, while still having the other player use items. Now, you don't have to use swapping to win the race, but if you want to master the game, you're gonna want to swap. The character roster has also been updated tremendously. We went from 8 characters to 20, wow that's a big jump, and there's an actual incentive to pick characters besides they look cute. I'll pick them. As this game is all about partners, each character has their own respective partner. Mario and Luigi, Peach and Daisy, Toad and Toadette, and King Boo and Petey Piranha, because you can't have one without the other. Now every one of these partners has special carts and items only they can use, such as fireballs and Bowser shells. Except for King Boo and Petey Piranha who can randomly get any special item for some reason. No new general items however, and the triple shells and golden mushrooms from before are now exclusive special items so that kinda sucks. But you don't have to pick the partners pre-made by the game, you can mix and match however you like. Besides the regular Grand Prix, Battle Mode has also been updated this time. Balloon Battle makes a return, along with 2 new modes. Shine Thief, where you have to steal a shine and keep it until the timer runs out, and Bob-omb Blast, where you try to blow up your opponents more than they do. There's one more thing special about Double Dash, and that's by using LAN play and 8 game cubes, you can play with up to 16 people. Not many have experienced it sadly, but those that did say that it was bliss. So with all these new chaotic changes, Double Dash is a bit frustrating to play in single player but is a god tier level of fun in multiplayer. Nintendo, please bring this back as a new mode please I'm begging you. On November 19, 2006, the Wii was released, and it exploded in popularity. Everyone had one, and if you didn't, yes you did, you just didn't know about it. 2 years later, Mario Kart Wii came out, and it also exploded. But besides the game, there was one reason why the game was so popular: plastic. Every copy of the game also included the Wii wheel, a piece of plastic shaped like a wheel that you could slip your Wii remote into so that it felt like you were actually driving a car. They nailed the feeling of it, which is good because it took them 30 prototypes to make. Jesus. Besides the wheel, Mario Kart Wii added 2 other big changes. First, besides driving carts, you can now drive bikes. The title is a lie. Using carts, you can get up to 2 drifting boosts, but with bikes, you can only get 1, but you can also wheelie, speeding you up. However, when you wheelie, you can only go straight and if anyone bumps into you, you lose a majority of your speed. With these differences, the vehicle you choose actually has an impact on the gameplay besides it's slightly faster but turns slower. Second, when you drive off a ramp or a jump, you can now perform tricks on them to give you a slight speed boost. It's a great addition that adds a bit more strategy to the game and also makes all ramps in previous entries feel useless. Despite these great new features however, 2 other changes make this game a bit controversial for the fandom. Firstly, the items in this entry are much more chaotic. 3 new items are introduced. The Mega Mushroom, a less effective star that makes you grow big for a short time. The Pow Block, a less effective lightning bolt that makes you spin out and lose your items. Unless you are in the air when it goes off, and the Thunder Cloud. With this item, you go a bit faster but if you touch anyone the cloud goes to them, and when the countdown goes off, the player with the cloud will get struck by lightning. Now, I like the idea of an item that encourages players to ram into each other to steal it. The problem is that I just don't want this item. Even besides these new items though, the item randomization has also been heavily increased. Rare items such as blue shells and bullet bills which appeared about once or twice per race in previous games now appear 4 or 5 times, making races much more crazy. Secondly, battle mode has been changed as well. Along with balloon battles, coin runners has been added, where you just try and collect as many coins as you can. No matter what options or mode you pick however, you are forced to play in 2 teams with a time limit and CPUs. Now, this makes sense for online mode, preventing games from lasting forever, but in local multiplayer, it just doesn't have the same charm as the previous battle modes. Overall, Mario Kart Wii created some of the best features of modern Mario Kart games but also has some features loved by some fans and hated by others, making this one of the most controversial games in the series. In 2010 Nintendo was lacking in developers for the new Mario Kart game, with many would-be developers busy working on other games such as Nintendogs plus Cats, yes really. But by getting help from Retro Studios they were able to release Mario Kart 7 to the Nintendo 3DS in December 2011. 3 major gimmicks were advertised about the game: gliding, underwater driving, and kart customization. Now for driving in the air and underwater, they're very simple changes. For air sections, when you drive off certain ramps you automatically equip your gliders and float back down to the ground. For underwater sections, you automatically equip propellers, and while your movements are a bit slower and more floaty, really gameplay is the same as before. Kart selection is a different story though. Unlike previous games where you just pick a pre-made kart and go, here in Mario Kart 7 you have to pick your vehicle, tires, and glider. Now, on one hand, you have more customization options for not only the look of your karts but your stats as well, but on the other hand, it takes way longer to get into a race. This game features one more gimmick as well: motion sickness. Instead of driving using the regular buttons, you could also turn on the first-person mode and drive by tilting the controllers. I mean, it works, but do you really want to play by moving the screen you have to look at? The item list has calmed down from Wii, removing the fake item box but adding 3 new ones. The Fire Flower lets you shoot fireballs for a short amount of time, the Super Leaf gives your kart a tail to block projectiles and hit other racers for a short amount of time, and the Lucky 7, which literally gives you 7 other items. Very creative, guys. Other than these new gimmicks, Mario Kart 7 doesn't really add much to the series. It's a rather bland entry that seems like they were forced to develop a new Mario Kart instead of them wanting to make a new one. Lastly, in 2014, the latest main entry to the series, Mario Kart 8, was released on the Wii U. Now, those that know anything about the Wii U know that it was mostly a flop, but the release of this game brought the console from dead to slightly less dead. Just like Mario Kart 7, this game's main appeal was its new gimmick, anti-gravity. You could now drive on the sides of walls and even upside down. Science no longer exists. Gameplay-wise, it just feels like normal driving, but aesthetically it allows for much more creative track design. For items, the Super Leaf was removed, and the Lucky 7 was changed to the Lucky 8, which is just the same item but with a coin added to the mix. Other than that, it's Mario Kart 7's item list with 3 new additions. The Piranha Plant, which chomps at anything near it and gives you a speed boost every time it does for a short amount of time. The Boomerang Flower, which can be thrown in front or behind you 3 times, and the Super Horn, which can destroy anything around it, including the blue shell. Later, DLC was announced for the first time in the series, bringing new characters, karts, and tracks. 200cc was also added in an update, and while it was a cool feature, it often wasn't designed well and ended up too fast for the tracks. With beautiful graphics and music, Mario Kart 8 would have been the greatest game in the series if it wasn't for one huge problem: battle mode. Balloon Battle was the only mode, lame, and there were no battle tracks created for the game, just tracks already from the game. And I don't mean they took race tracks and edited them for battle mode. I mean they literally took race tracks from the Grand Prix and said there's your battle tracks, and because of this huge issue, Mario Kart 8 was stopped from being the best Mario Kart yet. However, I lied about Mario Kart 8 being the latest main entry. You see, in 2017 the Nintendo Switch received Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's right, they made Mario Kart 8 twice. Really though, this was just Mario Kart 8 ported to the Switch with a few changes. All the characters and tracks were already unlocked from the start, so people who owned the previous game didn't need to worry about unlocking them again. Double item slots were brought back from Double Dash, making the game a bit more hectic, and 200cc was fixed to be more playable. The Boo item was added, making you invisible and stealing an item from another player, and your drift boost can now go to level 3. Smart steering and auto acceleration were added, making the game easier for kids. But the biggest difference to Mario Kart 8 was the addition of an actual battle mode. 8 actual maps are added, and 5 different game modes are here, the most in the series. Balloon Battle, Coin Runners, Bob-omb Blast, and Shine Thief all return, along with the new mode Renegade Roundup, a Mario Kart version of Cops and Runners. The feather is also brought back from Super Mario Kart as a battle mode exclusive item. I'm not sure why, but it's a nice addition. With all these new changes and improvements, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes Mario Kart 8 the amazing game it should have been from the start. And that's all the Mario Kart games in the series. Well, at least all the main entries. Throughout the years Nintendo also released a bunch of spin-offs for different platforms, such as arcade machines, a mobile game, and even a real-life mini version of Mario Kart using RC cars. I hope you learned something new from this video, and if you didn't, tell me in the comments section so I can block you. Thank you for watching, and keep on racing.